What's up, car junkies? It's Blair with Revit Auto, and today is our first episode of Backyard Builds. I'm over at Lenny's garage, and he's showing me his 1967 Chevelle with a 572. He built this for a customer that didn't give him a lot of input, so he's had a lot of free will to kind of go out here with his creativity and make something really nice. Him and his buddies have put thousands of hours into this project. It started out in the backyard of some guy's house that's pretty much a scrapyard, and they brought it in, tore it all down, full restoration, lots of work, lots of helping hands. This car is gold. But enough of me yapping, I'm gonna go ahead and get behind the camera, let Lenny show you this car. Hopefully we'll get it out there for a little test and tune session so I can go over the tuning on it, and then maybe we'll see what happens. Don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching this video.
I'm Lenny, and this is my shop. I'm retired from my regular business, automotive, service station, repair, rental car business. And now I'm just working on people's hot rods that I like, and they like nice things, and doing mostly fit and finish now. Really not doing any frame offs anymore. And so I like the fit and finish part. People buy the cars, and then they like to take them to the next level. So, you know, they get in touch with me and we talk about what they want to do and then find out what their budget is. And sometimes they don't do it all right away, but it's all on the list. So we do what they want to do most first, and then we just keep working on the car to take it to the highest level, make them happy, and I enjoy doing the fit and finish part. We have four real cool cars in here. We have one car, the black car, that we're just finishing up. We took the original frame, modified it, moved the frame rails in on it, stiffened the frame up with some plates, made the cross members front and back, took the front cross member and lowered it down and made it, because it's got a 572 in it, the 572 has kind of a deeper pan on it, and so we wanted to be able to fit that in the cross member without a problem and make sure the car engine was low enough to where we only have to use a 2-inch raised hood on it. The body, pretty much everything on the body was replaced other than the roof. We used the roof, cut the drip rails off of it, and all the rest of the panels are new. The floor is new. We had to make the floor a lot larger than it originally would have been on a 67 because we used a 4L80 transmission in it. And then in the rear where the drive shaft's at, we made the tunnel a little bigger because the car's setting down. We make sure we had plenty of clearance with aluminum drive shaft. We cut the front of the frame so we could get a bigger radiator in it. We encaptured the fans inside to make this all flush. We used an electric water pump on this, which actually, when we did this, March didn't make a setup with electric water pump. So we had to make a couple brackets and add another pulley because we were going to put air conditioning on it, but the customer wanted it, so we decided to go ahead and put the AC, which put a little bit more in it. We have Hydro Boost brakes, and on the Hydro Boost, this particular reservoir doesn't hold near enough fluid to operate the Hydro Boost and the brakes, so we ended up making a reservoir for that. Probably a little bit of overkill. It holds about 1.5 quarts, but it works wonderfully. This is just the overflow for the radiator, and this over here just covers some of the air conditioner stuff. As you can see, one of the cool things that I thought was cool that we did, we used these upper control arms that we actually drilled the bolts from the back side and bolted the control arm in. So normally you would have nuts and shims and stuff. So we finished that off, but these control arms are adjustable. They have turnbuckles on each side of the control arm, so you can set the caster camera, get that thing set straight. The firewall, actually, you see that we smoothed all that out. You see no wires. The only wires that go through the firewall are in the back of the distributor and all of the AC lines. It does have a heater and stuff in it too. We put all that in there. It goes in through here and in. Of course, we made the The hoses, top and bottom. This is made out of stainless steel, ground down. And then we were going to polish it, but we're doing the black thing, so we powder coated it. So that worked out real well. We use a shrink wrap on all of our hoses. And the reason you have to use a double one here, obviously, because you have steel, and you have steel, so you got to connect the two. So you have to use a small rubber 3-inch piece there and over here. Same thing on the bottom. And we use the black flex line, and then we use the black covering line for the lines that you make up, and then we always shrink wrap the ends of it with regular shrink wrap, and then that kind of finishes it all. Gives you this kind of finish right here, using the wrap like there's a regular hose underneath there, but you shrink wrap this, and then the cover, gives it a little better look. This here, we filled this in, made this panel, filled this in. They painted it when they painted the car. The headers are stainless steel, they're coated, but they still turn, but they don't get that blue on them. They just go like a dark gray look. It's fuel injected. Works, of course, it's got, the reason why we did this fan and this whole thing was, these 67s take small radiators, and you can never cool a motor like this realistically. And the air conditioner was never a problem. This thing, we run a 180 degree thermostat in it, maybe 195 because they run a little better with heat in them. So the car runs about 195, 200. You can let it idle, turn the air conditioner on. No overheating problems, works really well. We were really happy with that. Of course, it has the billet hood hinges on it because you don't want the hood flopping around, so they hold everything, and you never have, once you get it adjusted, you're good on that. Something outside and up front, when we put the windows in, we always paint the inside of the windows, this edge, where the dash comes up and meets the cowl panel and stuff like that. It really gives you a finished look. Of course, like I was saying, everything was powder coated, and it makes a nice finish. We did away with the wipers because we really don't use them anyway. It gives a little cleaner look. The body wise, it's just got a lot of neat stuff on it. It's got power windows, power door locks, remote trunk, the dash and stuff. And it's kind of like a little bit of custom and a little bit of not, so we put AC vents in it, almost like the original. We put other stuff in it. It's kind of hard to really kind of explain. We started this car, we didn't want to overdo it, like make it like, in 3 or 4 years from now, it was an older build. So we did what we did to this thing to kind of make it so it would look fresh, stayed fresh all the time. So, like I say, we put dense mat and everything, the roof and everything. If you tap on this roof, it just feels like a solid piece of metal. And one of the cool things is that we always use these remote turn on, turn off deals where it turns on, and you can see some of the blue lights. This is just something that I haven't finished up with. We're going to drive it today. There's a couple controls I got to take care of. This here is a Performa Switch. When you turn that on, it makes the transmission shift a little harder than it ordinarily would. Of course, you turn the key on, everything lights up blue. The transmission and everything's programmed into the dash. And then it has buttons underneath there that you can make selections like how many miles are on the car, what's the transmission temperature, kind of what's going on with what you got there. So that's pretty cool. So that does that. The radio is in a trunk. It's controlled from this remote, and you can Bluetooth it to your phone, make your selections and whatever have you, and down the road you go, you listen to whatever you'd like to listen to. So that's a pretty cool thing. We really like that. We kind of got the dash open over on here on it because we got the fuel management hooked up to here. We're going to drive it today, take a look at what we got, and see where we're going with that. It's got a velour headliner that we put in it, like I said, it's got, power windows, power door locks. Windows work real well. These cars are really difficult to get the rear windows to work like real smooth. It's because they they never worked great from the factory. So, and there wasn't a lot of them with power windows. So that was kind of a challenge, but we worked at it till we got it. And probably see, we put these blue lights underneath the bottom. The customer thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. The trunk. We can open the trunk. Should kind of show you what's going on in there. So the gas tank's in here. This is a filler. This here is it's got a piece of leather in there in case something would ever spill, but it also has an outlet. If you would to spill gas here, which is a possibility, hopefully you never do it, it's going to run out of the bottom and out of the way, and it's not going to create a problem. There's lights in here. There's a fuse panel and a battery back here. There's a fuse panel and a battery back here, and they're tied together. And all these panels, and the stereo system and everything ends in behind there. So when you want to take this thing apart, all this stuff is Velcroed in. So you just start here, you pull these panels out, you pull the back panel out, and then you grab this floorboard piece, and then the whole thing just comes out of the way. And then this panel slips off. You can get in there. One of the things that we do is underneath the car, it's got two battery outlet charging posts that are covered. But if you have an issue, the battery goes dead and you need a jump start, you don't have to drag all this out. The other thing of it is it's got a lead underneath there that runs the battery tender. So, when you park the car, we always tell people, make sure you plug the cars up. And then that way, when you get ready to roll, the battery's never a problem. Plus, they last 3 times as long. So, no, it works out pretty well. This here, we like I said, we made this gas tank, so it's part of it in the trunk and part of it underneath the bottom, but it gives us the ability to run the exhaust straight out the back. So that worked out pretty well. I think it's a 22-gallon tank. The fuel pump and everything for the motor is underneath here, which you don't see in any of the wiring, and you don't see any of the fuel lines. Hey guys, I appreciate Blair coming over to take a look at this car. I got so many hours in it and everything. I was out driving it and it just had a little tuning issue. So I needed a second set of eyes. So he was watching the computer while I was driving, and then we just determined you know, with his help and stuff, it was really a fuel problem. So we got the fuel problem straightened out, and now we're really happy with the car.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is awesome. It's probably the best car I've ever put together, to tell you the truth.
It's super cool. I mean, when you gassed it and it threw me in the seat back and you looked over and gave me that smirk, I was like, all right, yeah, he's happy. This thing hauls butt.
And the car's not really irritating loud. You know, it's the kind of car that you could drive for a distance and not be aggravated with the noise after a while.
Yeah.
Super quiet inside. Of course, it's got AC.
Oh, that's a must.
The Bluetooth the thing and listen to some rock and roll and
I
have
just
fun.
think it's so funny that all the features that you have in there, you deleted the wiper blades.
It's got Rain-X on the windshield.
Yeah.
Or wax.
Yeah. So you just drive faster.
Yeah. So, we're real happy with this thing. I'm going to give it back to the customer. Got a couple neat things we're going to do before we give it back to him. We're having some custom headlights made for it. We got to get those in, and we'll be showing you that once we get them in, once I get them.
Yeah.
So they'll be in this week, and we're going to work on that. But we're really happy with it. The car is, like I said, it's super quiet inside. We insulated the floor with lizard skin, and then put dense mat over top of that, and put sound deadener in the doors and the ceiling and everything else. So the car's it's like almost driving a newer car.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But it's a lot cooler than a newer car.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. When we got into it and he was just driving down the road, one hand on the wheel. I mean, it's got a steering box in it. It's not a rack. And it tracks so well. It's super quiet inside the car. You can carry out a conversation. I'm talking louder to the camera right now than I was in the car to Lenny.
Yeah, that's what makes it cool, you know. We're full with a lot of hot rods that make a lot of noise. And,
like our Zephyr. We can't hear each other think in that Zephyr.
Yeah, exactly. And you drive that thing for a few hours and you get out and say, that's enough of that. But this car here, you could cruise this thing on the highway and be real happy with it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about it. I want to give it back to the customer and let him put some miles on it. And, we'll see how things go.
Cool. Well, Lenny, thanks for letting me swing
Oh, no
over.
problem, man. Thanks for coming over. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, this is cool. So thanks, guys.
All
As
right.
always, thanks for watching. Happy motoring. Like, comment, and subscribe.